There have been great steps made recently towards getting the message out to the public about what a truly healthy diet actually is, with the online nutrition community buzzing especially about the EAT-Lancet Commission and Canada's updated food guide, among other developments. However, one public nutrition authority has been leading the way in this area for quite some time, since 2011 in fact. In 2011, the Harvard School of Public Health first published their Healthy Eating Plate, which they unashamedly claim to have developed to be an improvement on the USDA's MyPlate. In HSPH's own words, the US Department of Agriculture's MyPlate, though it has been revised to reflect some key findings, still doesn't offer the most complete picture when it comes to basic nutrition advice. The Healthy Eating Plate is based exclusively on the best available science and was not subjected to political or commercial pressures from food industry lobbyists. From their website, these improvements include addressing important deficiencies in the MyPlate icon, such as its mixture of science with the influence of powerful agricultural interests, and instead provides a guide that is based on the most up-to-date nutrition research and not influenced by food industry or agriculture policy. Based on this methodology, they conclude that a plant-based diet, rich in vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats and healthy proteins, lowers the risk of weight gain and chronic disease. And the improvements are not merely theoretical, but actually appear to carry over to measurable improved health outcomes. People that closely followed their guidelines had less risk of dying or developing a chronic disease than those that closely followed the USDA's guidelines. So what are they actually recommending? The guide improves over MyPlate in many ways, including specifically recommending whole grains, giving advice on which specific plant oils to use based on fatty acid profile, and recommending the restriction of fruit juice. But the part that really stands out the most to me is their recommendations about dairy products. People were especially impressed with Canada's new guidelines and the replacement of dairy with water as the beverage of choice. But Harvard have recognised for quite some time that there is little, if any, evidence that high dairy intake protects against osteoporosis, and there is considerable evidence that too high intakes can be harmful. And as such, place a glass of water as the beverage of choice beside the plate and recommend other healthy beverages like tea and coffee with little or no sugar. It warns that high intakes of dairy are associated with increased risk of prostate cancer and possibly ovarian cancer. It is so rare to hear language as firm, unequivocal and openly critical as what we find in the Healthy Eating Guide in the public health nutrition arena, and it is extremely refreshing. If you're looking for a nice, detailed and yet easy to follow set of guidelines to improve your diet but aren't quite ready to go fully plant-based, I highly recommend this guide because of its inclusion of a small amount of some of the less health detrimental animal products. The evidence is now very strong that processed meat and red meat increase the risk of a myriad of health problems, and thus these foods are specifically recommended against in the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate. But whilst poultry and fish are definitely healthier alternatives, these products come with their own long list of negative health consequences, such as being the number one food associated with weight gain and the number one source of many dangerous pollutants, respectively, in addition to the usual problems with animal protein, choline, nitrosamines and so on. Because of numerous complicated issues, public health authorities, even when not commercially corrupted, usually do not yet recommend against these products, and you can be sure I will be addressing this very topic in the future. But with all of this in mind, happily the guide also recommends yet healthier sources of protein again, legumes, nuts and seeds, for when you're fully ready to make that switch to whole foods, plant-based nutrition. So to summarise, the wealth of evidence on the negative health consequences of processed foods and animal products is making its way more and more into recommendations to the public. With increasing frequency, we are seeing huge strides towards proper nutrition advice not corrupted by commercial interests becoming available, and the Harvard School of Public Health's Healthy Eating Plate is a good approximation of what that might one day look like. Do you pay attention to official nutrition guides like this, MyPlate, the Eat Well Guide and so on? Or do you put more stock in recommendations offered by various channels here on YouTube? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know if, like me, you have to laugh whenever you see this picture from the Canadian guidelines. Maybe it's just me, but I always imagine all the people scurrying around cooking all these foods, worrying about getting them to look just right, and the pressure on that last person that had to arrange it all for the final photo. Anyway, that's it for now guys. Talk to you soon. Slán.